Okay, to start this session on the right foot, let us all find out what are the things we know about Rotary brand guidelines. To lead us on that short activity, let us all welcome President nominee Chun John Ong.
Thank you, RJ. Okay. Good afternoon, district leaders. Welcome to Ractimeter. As leaders, we tend to support our mother organization to increase our impact, expand our reach, and more. One of which is to follow simple things under branding and protocols, which are made to strengthen the general image of our organization. Therefore, the poll for this session is how often the Rotary brand guidelines correctly followed in your district. Okay, kindly visit menti.com at your browser and use the code 663480 to turn in your answers. This question requires your individual answer by selecting among the options to further view if our respective districts are good at following the branding or guidelines. So while answering the poll, let me share you something that having a consistent brand image is organizations. And Rotaract is no exception to empower and serve. Okay. Communities in our so be compliant on that matter. So okay, let's take feedback from our poll. Okay. Okay, is the Rotary brand guidelines correctly followed in different districts? So majority of the answer is very often. If that's the case, the Rotary brand guidelines are quite well known by our service clubs. Good job, leaders. But few of them are in need of further guidance. So some of you answered rarely. Oh, that's shocking. No? And some of you said sometimes, so that's good. And one of you answered always. So they are being reminded. So anyways, this is already a big step in strengthening our image, but there are other means of support in promoting our organization. So want to know? Lend your ears and attention to our resource speaker this afternoon. Thank you, district leaders, for your time. Back to you, RJ.
Thank you very much, P and Chun, for reminding us of the importance of the brand guidelines in Rotary. I'm actually quite surprised and pleased that most of you are following our branding guidelines, which will be a good start of our next session. So before we proceed, I want to remind you again of our house rules.
Session.
All right. Okay. So, moving on to our third session, let me introduce you to our first moderator this afternoon. He became a Rotaractor when he joined the Rotaract Club of Quezon City Central in 2010. He became the president during the World Class Year in 2015 to 2016. After that, he served many positions in the district, including being the district Rotaract representative during the great term in 2018 to 2019. It is my pleasure to introduce you to the immediate past district Rotaract representative of District 3780. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome IPDRR Darin Gatongay. Let's give him a round of applause.
Hi guys, good afternoon. Can you hear me okay?
Yes,
Yes.
IPDRR.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for that introduction, RJ. And let me just get my screen ready here. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Magandang tanghali, magandang hapon. And okay, so like what we did in our previous sessions, uh, this session is also divided into two parts. The first part will be the session for the speakers, and the second part will be our panel discussion. So for the first part, uh, let's see here. Sorry, my screen is okay. Yeah. For the first part, we have three session speakers, and I'm going to introduce them one by one before they talk. So for our first speaker, he will be talking about promoting Rotary. He became the president of his home club, the Rotary Club of Downtown Batangas, in a Rotary year 1997, 1998. He also served as the district governor of the Rotary International 3820. He also served as the assistant Rotary public image coordinator in Zone 7A from 2017 to 2019. And now he's the current Rotary public image coordinator of Zone 7A. And I believe, based on his experience, he's the person to talk about our topic. And without much further ado, please welcome past District Governor Reynaldo Castillo.
Okay, thank you very much for your kind introductions. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Louis Rial, the chairman of the Pilipinas Rotaract Multi-District Information Organization, for inviting me. And of course, I would like also to congratulate the chairman, Diana De Suyo, the host club, San Francisco del Monte, Malaya achiever. I'm honored and privileged to speak to the future of Rotary, and that is the Rotaract. Our young leaders, I will talk about you being Rotaractors, your potentials. Don't shy away with Rotary. Hold on tight and lead this great organization. Be a Rotarians. According to Jose Rizal, the youth is the hope of our future. It is a well-known fact that the youth of a country is a great asset. The next generation will be our new generation, our pathway to success. It holds true in Rotary. Rotaractors is the building blocks of Rotary. Your role in our organization is a very important. It is because you will be our future. Today, we are partners. Tomorrow, you will go on to become leaders. As early as now, we need you to attract more quality members. Increase your membership. Learn and make Rotary part of your life. Your generation will be taking Rotary to the next level, towards further progress. We hope with the help of Rotary, you can achieve your potential. We, on the other hand, must make sure to encourage our Rotaractors to do better in every field. Rotarians must be beneath your wings to fly high instead of tying chains to our wings. Rotaract has the power to build a nation of future Rotarians. You are our future. Your zeal and enthusiasm must be channelized properly, and the Rotary Public Image Coordinator are here to help and guide you. Let's talk about strong brand. When you see this brand, Nike, Apple, and Starbucks, very few doesn't know all these brands. They are product or organization that has a strong visual identity and instantly recognizable without saying a word. No matter where you are in the world, when you see these visuals, you know what they are stands for. Strong brands are simple, recognizable, and consistent. Strong brands are represented by marks, color, font, type, or photography, and the experience created and delivered consistently that adds value. The Rotaract brand, the Rotaract brand reflects who we are, as well as who we want to be. Your visual identity reflects the story of who we are. Our logo should be recognizable to the public. Remember that. Allowing others to instantly identify with Rotary and Rotaract and what we do. Our visual identity mirrors the perception of how we want to be seen. Seeing the same logos over and over again and being met with the same experiences is an example of a strong public image for a group of young leaders who are developing innovative solutions to the world's most pressing challenges. Rotaract public image isn't just what you think of yourselves. Remember that. It's also what people outside of Rotaract think about you. Getting people to recognize Rotaract's name is a start, but your work needs to go farther. Talking about Rotaract in ways that explain what you do and the impact you make and the impact it made to your life is essential to enhancing your peers' understanding and inspiring them to get involved. For so long as we are taught to do our good work quietly, not for recognition, not for pat in the back, but because that's how we do it. It's noble. It's a good thing. However, what we have learned is we need to share your Rotaract story. We need to increase awareness. And awareness of Rotaract is very, very high. But public understanding of who we are, what we do, and the value we bring to communities is concerningly low. It's important that we tell our story in ways that help people everywhere understand what Rotaract does, how we're different, and why our work matters. Without this understanding, we can't reach our full potentials and we can't bring more people together. And we can do it alone. We need your help to attract the new generation in our organization. Rotaract Pilipinas is very, very strong. You have to establish a strong public image at your end, but you can do more. We need your help. So like-minded young people will join us and appreciate the gift that Rotary brings to our lives. For the most effective message when selling our brand, we strongly encourage that you start focusing on developing human interests and personal experience. Tell them why young people should join Rotaract. Tell them by using powerful images, heartwarming videos. The benefit is brought to your life, the excitement, the friendship that you are part of Rotary and Rotaract family, the new generation. Share your story that will allow others to understand Rotaract the way you experience it. Show your activities through social media, your website, FB page, and other tools available. Let us all bring this information together. Our effort is more by sharing our story with a strong brand. Give us the ability to attract and retain members. And I would like to share with you one of the best public image. This is being done by the Rotary Club of Patimonan of District 3820. It was featured in the Rotary International Magazine, the Rotarian, and featured also published in the Manila Bulletin, and of course, it was also published in our very own the Philippine Rotary magazine, now being the chief editor, Governor Sunny Coloma. The artificial coral reef project and its impact to the community in itself is amazing. It smoothly elevates the residents' awareness about fish habitat, its potential increase of economic effect through tourism, and subsequently job employment. It's a life-changing project that provides food to the table and send their kids to school. It's one of a kind. It's beautiful. The biggest rotary artificial coral reef in the world. But most of all, it empower and change life. In livelihood, it creates for small fishermen in the six coastal villages of Atimonan. And in the environment, it protects and maintains the marine by fostering biodiversity. And in our public image, it developed international Rotary diving. And now, I'll show you our People of Action campaign. This campaign brings the Rotary story to life in a way that narrows the gap between public awareness and understanding. This campaign is designed to tell Rotary's Rotaract story in a consistent and compelling way. It's a tool that members can use to show the impact that our clubs make. This campaign portrays Rotaract as people of action, people who share a passion for taking action to improve the communities around them. People of action's power to increase public understanding of Rotary and Rotaract relies on clubs to show how they make a difference in their community. The campaign support Rotary's vision and reflect its essence. This is a powerful images. It tells who you are. Very early on the minute you join Rotaract, you become a leader. A leader who accepts challenges to make a difference. As Dwight Eisenhower says, leadership is like moving a string across a table. You pull, not push. It is about inspiring others to follow you. It is also about inspiring yourself to change for the better. Leadership is not limited by age and gender. It is about the difference that you can make for the people around you, such as your families, friends, and communities. It is a commitment. To promote Rotaract, it must be encouraging and make connections. It's about encouraging one another to grow and reach their potentials. This pandemic comes up with innovative the way we help, innovate the ways we do our projects, and innovate how to reach out to others. Think of a workable ideas to turn into action. Collaborate, make connections, inspire others to support your cause. Whatever you want to be in life, you're training for it now. And you have to realize your potentials. This will be a good stepping stone for you to realize your potential. To know where your heart is, we need young people like you to realize that you have the potential to become a great leader who can effect positive change in our society. We need young leaders who will contribute to make society a better place for all. Always remember that leaders are not born. They are made, maybe even more to the point they make themselves. The choices you are making now will mold the adult you will become tomorrow. Finding a cause greater than yourself will prepare you for even bigger things in the years ahead. It's nice to be chosen as a leader, but first, know why you want to lead and what you want to accomplish before you seek a leadership role. That will not only make you a better leader, it will make you a better citizen, a better person, and a better Rotaractors. Be a leader that inspires others. Rotaractors are the brand ambassadors of Rotary. What you will become is your gift to the Rotary and your gift to the world. The reason we have Rotaract is because Rotary International encourage youth such as you to build a better world and a better you. You are our future. Your idealism, your energy, and passion will help us change the world for the better. What will be in the future is what we choose to make it to be. It will require young people like you to exercise your leadership abilities to effect those changes. I am proud of all your passion and commitment in bringing about change in your own ways. Reinforce our belief that outstanding young community leaders can truly make a difference in our society. Today, you will get to hear remarkable leadership strategies from other speakers who have pursued their passions and applied their skills and knowledge to make a difference to others. As you listen to their stories today, I encourage you to think about your ambition for your club and how you will create and shape your leadership. And the good news from the Rotary International, the Code of Policies, effective July 1, 2020, 17 days to go. Rotaracts Club can establish a new club with or without sponsors. You can do it by your own. And districts are encouraged to include Rotaractors in every district's committee. We are now doing that. And Rotaracts Club membership will be open to all. Rotaracts will pay per capita dues in the future at $8. That is only 400 pesos today per year. And remember this, Rotary has set goals for Rotaractors. Number one, increase the number of reported Rotaractors who join Rotary Club by 20% by 2022. That is 2 years from now. And the membership as of today of the World Rotaractors is 214,433, and the 20% of that is 42,800 plus. And the Philippine membership, if we our share, today is 12,504, and the 20% of that is 2,500 for 2 years. You have only have, if my calculator is correct, 4 Rotaractors a year. It's each club because the Philippine club now has 632. My dear Rotaractors, as I have an inspiration in this organization, a dedication and commitment to service, for each of us who truly does possess the ability to be part of a cause greater than ourselves. That is really what being a leader is all about. All of you who are here represent your club because you are our young leaders. I wish you all the very best as you embark to this journey, and all the Rotaractors, we want to congratulate all of you as you are always with us doing service above self with all your capability and enthusiasm to make a positive difference and open doors of opportunity in the world. Remember, we do opens another opportunity for someone somewhere. Thank you very much and good afternoon.
All right. Thank you so much for that wonderful talk about promoting Rotary, GovRay. And again, uh, Rotaract brand is who we are, and whatever we do will reflect on our organization. Thank you so much, GovRay, again. And guys, if you have questions or anything to clear up to our speakers, you can go ahead and message in our chat room. So moving to our next speaker, she will be talking about best practices in promoting projects. She is a communications professional combining more than 9 years of experience. She worked as a publicist at Little Marketing Group, covering not only PR, but also working on marketing activities such as SEO, blog, writing, sponsorship, and working with creative teams. After that, she worked as a senior account executive for the past 7 years, working across a diverse range of clients in government, travel, consumer, and in particular NFT organizations at Verve PR. Now, she's the Rotary International Senior Coordinator for Communications and Public Relations. She's very excited to learn about each district and promote the of amazing work Rotary does in the region. Without much further ado, please help me welcome Senior Coordinator Angela Stavrogenopoulos. I hope I pronounced her last name correctly.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You did very well.
Thank you.
I'm actually trying to share my screen and it's not working. Share my screen. It says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Go ahead, Angela.
I'm not able to share my, oh, there we go. Perfect. Thank you so much for having me today. I thought it would be a really good thing to start off with letting you know a little bit about our office. And for some reason, it's not working. Oh, there we go. So in our regional office, we now have club and district support, membership, finance, the Rotary Foundation, administration, and now with my role, communications. And our objectives really are to raise awareness of the regional office and provide information that's relevant to you, as well as provide takeaways and ideas that you can use. Now, with my role as communications and PR coordinator, it's actually a new role in the Parramatta office here in Sydney. I'm here to support Rotary International, the clubs, the districts across Australia, New Zealand, and the Pacific Islands with their communication efforts. So primarily, I manage the Rotary's public presence, and I do this by sharing our work with various media channels. So newspapers, radio, social media, TV, blogs, you name it. I'm also here to help localise and implement regional marketing campaigns, provide media counsel, draft media materials, and streamline the communication processes for the organisation. But publicity really is essential to telling Rotary's story, because by getting your club's activities promoted in your local news, you really are increasing your community's understanding of what Rotary does, and that strengthens our ability to improve lives around the world. Now, as PR professionals, we're really often asked, you know, what is PR? Is it different to marketing? And it's really easy to describe from a tactical point of view. However, the difficulty often arises in articulating, I guess, how each role contributes to a business's success. So I would like to tell you, I guess, my comparison between PR and marketing. Marketing generally covers promotional, direct marketing and advertising, which seeks to return direct sales, where PR, I guess, is focused on reputation management, so through generating positive media coverage and stakeholder communication. Marketing aims to reach current and potential customers, where public relations is all about maintaining positive relationships with anyone who has an interest in the brand or organization. So this really covers a broader audience across customers, media, to even employees and shareholders. So messages delivered through PR channels, whether it's articles, you're a conference speaker, or blog articles, they're subconsciously regarded by consumers as more legitimate than those presented through marketing tactics. So PR really is all about effective communication, whether it's between an organization and its target audience, or between a person and the people they want to influence. Every business, person, organization, they have a story to tell, which will interest the media. And the role of a PR professional really is to see an organization through the eyes of the media and to provide them with facts that they can use at the right time. So really anything from a speech to a new product to an initiative as a Rotaractor you might be working on, it's newsworthy if it's expertly handled. And that takes me on to what is news, because as business and professional leaders who have a passion for taking action to improve communities, you know, at home and abroad, Rotary members are offering journalists a unique viewpoint, along with access to people and information they'd want to cover. So our challenge really is to package and present our stories in a way that, you know, will get them covered in media and will be of interest to a journalist. And when we are looking at a story, there are a couple of factors that determine what will get it across the line or not. So the first one is news hook. So a clear reason, I guess, for telling a story at a particular time. Does the story relate to current events or trends? I think, you know, COVID-19 is a really, really good example. You know, as a Rotaractor, have you done any initiative or project that has helped your community who might have struggled during this time? That's a reason to tell the media what you're doing. Timeliness, so news that's about to occur, ongoing, or near completion. So unfortunately, even if you've had an event that happened 6 months ago and it was fantastic and you generated a lot of fundraising, if it happened 6 months ago, unfortunately, it's lost its news value. So we're talking about current events and current news. Proximity, so, you know, news that pertains to issues, people, or events that occur within the location of the local media or audience. Prominence, so, you know, if you have a celebrity or a public figure, a part of an event or an initiative, that definitely generates extra news value. Conflict and controversy, so news that provokes tension or suspense. Human interest, this is probably the biggest one for you guys. So news that elicits sympathy or emotional response. Everything you're doing has heart to it. You're making an impact. You're making a change. Consequence, so news about the result of something that has had a significant impact on an organization or an audience or followers. Visually compelling, so something new or unique and attention-getting images. You know, a journalist is always thinking about the visual. What is the viewer going to see on the news page? And data, any relevant statistics and research to support the story that we're talking about. Staying current, so the 24-hour news cycle, as we would all be aware, media is definitely turning to online, much more than print. So this actually means that keeping people informed is now a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week commitment. Journalists are really, really looking for, you know, they really need stories now more than ever. They're requiring fresh information to plug into websites, newspapers, radio slots, TV slots. So if you have a good story, please share it. Please share it with me. And from a very brief conversation, I can determine if and how we can move forward on promoting it. But timing is everything. It's my job to know how a newsroom works and the best time to email or call about a story. But I think it's also about being opportunistic. So if I see a story in the paper in the mornings or on the radio on my way to work, which relates to an issue that I know you as Rotaractors may be working on, I jump on it. I'll give you an example from my previous role just to give you a better understanding. My client was an aged care provider, and when the yearly federal budget was handed down, it impacted the aged care sector tremendously. what I did, I immediately created a comment around this from the CEO of the company and what it meant for my client and the industry. I pitched it out to the newsrooms ASAP, and it actually resulted in interview opportunities across radio where they wanted to talk to my client. And this ultimately raised their profile and put them as thought leaders in this industry. But given this, I also think it's just as important to think ahead, because even though the news cycle is 24 hours, think ahead in terms of, you know, what's coming up in the world that you might be working on. For example, are you working on a project that impacts the environment or refugees? Because to give you an example, World Environment Day and World Refugee Day in June, they're great examples of how you can highlight the work that you're doing and tap into the news value of that current day. Storytelling. So obviously we have some great stories to tell. Rotaract members are actively working to improve communities around the world. We have so much to share with an external audience so they can learn about you and hopefully join in your efforts. So again, I'm here to help you share your stories, and I'd love to hear about your projects. So the more I hear about, the more I can assist. But you know, if you'd like to learn more and stay more up to date with what media usually write about or how you fit into the mix, I guess, I suggest getting to know your local media. Read your local newspaper, listen to the evening news, follow their social media pages, and identify where your story might fit in. You know, consider inviting a local journalist to join a service project, or, you know, invite them to one of your meetings so they can see firsthand what your club is doing for the community. But also think about what a journalist wants to read, because over the years, I've developed many relationships with reporters, and by giving them content I know they will run, it certainly helps get coverage because I've localized it and it's something that they would want. But there are many times, I guess, I will have to reach media I have no relationship with, but I know what they'd want to know about, which is club projects, events, which directly affect their location, their community, their readers. You may even have a journalist contact you directly as they've learned about a project through another contact or seen it on your social media pages. There's so many ways a journalist will find their stories. So I guess it's being prepared. So, you know, if a media interview was to come directly to you, obviously I'm here to help if you did have any media requests. But if there is a chance where it came directly to you and you didn't have time to engage a PR professional, I'd say before an interview, prepare. Develop 1 or 2 main points that you want to communicate and provide the reporter with background materials. And during the interview, you know, answer at the top, answer questions first. And if necessary, transition to the point you really want to make. And avoid this term, it's called question answer syndrome. Don't let the reporter lead you through the interview. Keep control of your message and use most questions as opening for opportunities to tell your story. Now, I just wanted to share with you, again, I've only been with Rotary now for about 5 weeks, so I'm fairly a newbie, but I wanted to share with you some coverage I've achieved in the last 4 or 5 weeks. And the first one that you see there, Western Magazine. Now, I had seen this story on Facebook, and it was about a Rotary Club in New South Wales who had raised a tremendous amount of money for drought relief and farmers. Now, just off a very short conversation with the volunteers, I was able to craft a very good pitch that was then sent to the local media newspaper that you see here, as well as radio. And the Royal Commission was also happening at the time, which gave it timeliness and news value, which then resulted in getting the front page of the Western Magazine. So that's just an example of making sure that you're staying on top of the current issues as well and tapping into them. The one you see down the bottom, the Inside Palmerston North Bird Rehab Centre. Now, World Environment Day was last week, and I had spoken to a club in New Zealand, and they had told me about this service project, and I pitched it out around World Environment Day, giving it that extra news hook. And again, we achieved online and news coverage. So they're just a couple of examples on, you know, how to think about the way that the news works and what makes it newsworthy. And here are just some, I know obviously I'm always here to support you, but there are also resources available to you on the Rotary Press Centre on rotary.org. And you can have a look at that at your own time. And that is me. So thank you so much. And I hope I've given you some good information on what makes a story newsworthy.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Angela. So, again, guys, if you have questions to our speakers, please drop your message below. And I'm pretty sure our speakers and panelists will answer them right after the our speakers are done. So, jumping in to our next speaker, who will talk about Rotaract communication. He has been in Rotaract since 2015 as a member of Rotaract Club of Valencia in District 2203, and has served in various positions at club, district, and international level. Today, he is the president of the Rotaract Mediterranean Multi-District Information Organization, a Rotaract hub merging Europe, Middle East, and Africa, connecting more than 700 clubs from 31 districts in 17 different countries. In January 2020, he participated in the Rotary International Assembly, the training event for incoming district Rotary leaders held at San Diego, California, USA. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome MDIO President Salvador Almor.
Thank you very much, Dar. Well, it's a pleasure to be here with you guys today. Thank you, Louis, for inviting me. I'm gonna share my screen right now.
Go ahead, Salva.
Okay. Okay, is it working? Do you guys see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. I'll put the timing just in case I go over it. Okay, so thank you very much for welcoming, and I will try to give some practical, I don't know, hints that maybe worked for us and could be working for you guys in terms of communication of the Rotaract world and what the activities that we do for your districts or the MDIO in general with a more practical approach. So not only as a theoretical part or like show as we usually do on the trainings or on a lot of Rotary sessions talking about a lot of the Rotary image. This is how we actually executed the plan and it worked for us. So I would like to start talking about knowing what your situation is, making an analysis of what you want to achieve and what is your current situation as district or as clubs. It's very important that you as the incoming leaders analyze what are you right now. And what these, I mean, is it aligned with your long-term goal? Are you known within the Rotaract community, or are you known in the community that you live in? And what could you do to improve so? Okay, even though we're all part of Rotaract, each part of the world has a unique value. So what is the unique value that you are giving to people or that is representing you? For example, in terms of geography, something very iconic, or even certain colors that you can manage to merge with the Rotary image that could help you. For example, us in Rotaract Mediterranean, we actually prepared a PR strategy playing with the different colors of Rotary, which is also the blue, because basically we are around the sea, and this is our common value, okay? So the 17 countries that are uniting us are along the Mediterranean Sea. And we decided to play with it and the white most of the times in order to make like this branding impactful, but also different. So even though we are all part of a big family, try to look for your unique value and be able to communicate it to the people that you want to address to. So it's very important that you know your public, and the best way to do so is actually asking them, why are you not growing? Why is people not encouraging other people to join your district or to create new clubs or to join your activities? Maybe something's wrong. So after doing all of that analysis, check your assets. who is the current team that you actually have right now, and how could it be improved? Or do you have all the resources that you need? Because actually, I remember one of the main things that was tackled in the International Assembly was about PR and how Rotary should be promoted. But in the end, we realized, and everyone in Rotaract I have talked to has realized, there's not that many resources for Rotaract itself. So we're led to our own to design our own PR using the brand logo, but it's very difficult to have such an impactful communication with a consistent image if there is no one way to have all of those resources. So in the brand center that we were listening before, talking, there's a lot of things for Rotary, but not as much for Rotaract. So we need that value. Otherwise, we will create it, and that might lead to conflict sometimes. So Rotary is now working on that. So hopefully we will have a lot of resources. But so far, it's good that you know what you have and what you want to do. After knowing what is your long-term goal and what is your current situation, is very important in the team. It may seem obvious, but you are nothing with a great team. And when we talk about PR and we talk about advertising, everything that your district or club is doing, as it was previously mentioned, now communication is every day. So it's very important to check who could be helping you, but not only friends or not only people in the district that are willing to do so. It's okay to learn, but it's also important to have experts on different fields. And with experts, I don't mean recruiting someone who is a master's degree in PR. No, get to know them, ask them what it would be ideal for them to be learning with you and what are they greatest at. For example, in our specific role, in our specific case, we usually had only one position in charge of managing all the communication, the different websites, and it didn't work. It didn't work. For many years, I even was a social media coordinator, and it was quite hard to manage to create content, then tell stories, but then update the websites, everything at the same time. So of course you need a bigger group, and with bigger groups and bigger teams, new ideas come in. And that's one of the greatest values that we have in Rotaract. Everyone is a young leader. We are all looking forward to keep on learning. So the bigger the team, the better you will promote. So do not stick into positions regardless of the executive board that usually is mandatory, of course, in the Rotary world and the Rotary structure in Rotaract, but try to think as a brand, try to think as a company, bring out the entrepreneurs inside you and check, okay, what do I need? How many people do I need in my marketing team? Is it 2? Is it 5? Is it 10? Invent new roles so people get encouraged to participate in the activities. So as for example, from this transition that I was telling you, we passed through different processes leading to a point in which we have 5 different websites that need to be updated with people working on it, plus a whole marketing team in charge of video, posts, articles, and all of that is making the same brand that people are watching. So it always seems it's very easy, but it's actually pretty hard to manage something like that. So get a big team and believe what you do. What do I want to say with believe what you do so others will do it as well? The leading role in here is super important. So a lot of people may have great values or great ideas to apply to you, to your goal or your organization, but they need to be guided. So it's important that you empower them, that you tell them what are you expecting from them, but also to let them know that they're here to learn and that they're here to add value to the overall organization. Empowering people is super important, and after knowing that, you will be able to establish a long-term plan and say, okay, maybe I cannot do everything that I would like to, but the 10 persons that were willing to join me are great in these 5 things. So if you get a video maker, let's go for making great videos. You don't need to be posting every day. One video in a certain time of if it's a recurrent, could be even better than 10 posts. So check out your assets and then make a plan accordingly. How do you make an impact plan? It's very easy. In Rotary, we usually are constrained by the stress of having a 1-year long-term to execute our ideas or to try to achieve our goals. but it's important that you think more on the long term. Do not believe this as your own year oh, sorry, I think the camera, okay. Do not believe this as a year in which you need to achieve so much and then the year is over. This happens so much in the Rotaract world, and we know it. It happens worldwide, and it's important to be careful with it. Try to think about the long term of your district, of the organization that you represent. What do you want? Because maybe you're not that well known yet, and you should improve on getting well known first before doing other kind of stuff. And maybe you're already very well known, and what you need to do is to showcase the possibilities of joining you, okay? So after doing this, it comes to strategy. So in this impact plan, it's very important that you set a baseline. As we were saying before, know where you are, what is your district, but how is your image towards the other people in Facebook, in Instagram, even in LinkedIn, on YouTube? Do you have the logo that represents you within the guidelines everywhere? Is it consistent? If you would invite a great speaker outside the Rotary world, let's think as well as a company. Like, brands achieve a lot of knowledge, a lot of reach because they're attractive. People want to wear them. People want to buy stuff. So for Rotary, it's the same if you want to advertise something. People watch things that are appealing to them. So set a baseline and imagine, maybe this year we're tackling some environmental issues and it would be great to collaborate with Greenpeace. Is Greenpeace going to collaborate with you with the current image that you have right now, for example? Or I would love to have a guest speaker from Hollywood that could be doing a great intervention in our convention. Is it going to accept with the current PR that you have? Because we know we have great names on Rotary conventions, but we also deserve to invite our people. So make sure if you were an important person or if you would like to collaborate with someone else, that you actually would accept to collaborate with yourself and act accordingly. Besides that, it's also important to choose the right channels. It's not the same way to reach people through Facebook. It's not the same way to reach people through Instagram or even LinkedIn. Who is your public? Is your district older or younger? Should you go to universities or should you focus on promoting Rotary as well on LinkedIn so people get a value? And that brings me to the next point. People are selfish. This is not very nice to say, but we always want something, even if you don't want to say it. And it doesn't mean that you need money, or it doesn't mean that you need to be over anything. It's just that we like to interact with other things that provide us a value. So make sure you give that value, whereas it is promotion for Rotary clubs or Rotaract clubs on the district level. As a club, are you providing enough things to your club members? Are they enjoying, or is it an obligation? No one in here should be a Rotaract member by tradition. They should be because they're getting something in. Are they feeling part of the family of the club? Are they having friends? Are they learning? Are they achieving impact? If some of these things are not working out, people are gonna leave, and they are leaving because of that. So it's very important to provide things like, for example, Rotary just signed a contract with Toastmasters to train people worldwide and to allow to people to have this kind of things. Are you giving your community what you would expect from an organization like us? Do a critical thinking. Sorry? Oh, excuse me? Oh, okay. So, yeah. And this leads me to the point of fake it till you make it. If you don't know exactly how to execute the different things, you just try to believe already that you are in the position that you want to achieve and make everyone believe so. Eventually, they will really go into it. Oh. I'm not hearing you well, but it's okay. Well, it's very short to finish. Then I would go to the point of never underestimate the importance of also being there physically. It's really important to be consistent on your image, not only online, but also attending to the events. How, for example, in Rotaract Mediterranean, we made these cool polos, we made the whole team around the countries to wear it. It's important that you guys have your image, that you provide the same kind of standards every time you make a presentation. And of course, as leading roles, you need to be up to the expectations of the community that you address. And just to give you some examples of what Med has been doing, we had not a very strong image, let's say, positioning in the beginning of the year, and we really focused on building a community. And once everything was built as the brand, which is the district, or is the club, or is the MDIO, then we said, okay, what is our community expecting with us? And we created the Med Times. It is basically a blog, but it always depends how you dress a blog that is going to be more attractive to people or not, like different newspapers. So in here, know your values, try to brainstorm, get your team members to prepare stuff, bring them ideas on the table, and then organize them. So this is one of the examples that we have. And then this is the website. So one thing we have noticed in many different talks throughout the entire year with different leaders is that Rotary has a big problem in terms of PR with websites, because many of the clubs are led to their own responsibility, and Rotary clubs usually are dealing with hard stuff with technology. Okay, let's be honest, that usually happens. They outsource and they can hire someone to manage it. But with Rotaractors, many times also don't have the knowledge. So young people go to websites, and young people are expecting great content. Therefore, please check out who could be helping you out. Make great websites that are appealing. Do not use overused templates, and try to bring the value that we said before that you want to give people back into your websites. This is something I believe it's pretty important. And in here you can find all the information. And of course you will have websites, but always think about a product. Are you going into that website? Are you enjoy being there? Or is it just information that it must to be displayed, like a lot of names, a lot of titles, and different Rotary world related issues? We're intending to attract people, not only to make the people stay. So it's important that not only serves your community, but also that it's appealing for someone else. So get inspiration from other websites that you may like, from other brands, and bring it back to the Rotary guidelines. So I really think that this could help you. It helped Med, and I invite you to check out our social media channels and Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and the different websites that we have. And in case you have any doubts, my entire PR team would be super happy to give you hints. So thank you very much, and I hope you have a great conference. And cheers from Spain.
All right, thank you so much for that, MDIO President Salvador. So just some takeaways, no? Just like what MDIO President Salvador said, we are a big organization, and especially in the Philippines, we have a very diverse culture. You know, always remember to find that unique value that will represent you, and of course your district as DRRs. And um, let's see, next part of our program. So, oh, by the way, if you have questions to our speakers, please message your questions below, okay? And moving on, we are now on the second part of our session. So here we will discuss between our speakers and our invited panelists. We have good panelists for today. So again, I'm reminding you again, if you have questions, don't be shy, just message them below. We will try to accommodate all your questions for today for our topic. So, and while we're waiting for your questions, let me introduce to you our panelists, our great panelists for this session. So, our first panelist became a Rotaractor. Oh, a second. Became a Rotaractor in 2014 when she joined RTC Odivelas in Portugal in District 1960, where she served as president during Rotary year of 2017-2018. She started going to Rotaract Europe events in 2016. joining several UCOS and REMs. She also served as European Marketing Assistant during the Rotary year 2017-2018, country representative for Portugal during the Rotary year 2018-2019, and European Secretary for the year 2019 and 2020. She was also part of the HOC of the or HOC of the organization of REM, Lisboa, that took place last January. Now she's the incoming president of European Rotaract Information Center. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our first panelist, MDIO President-elect Mafalda Lewis.
Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon in your case.
Yes. And our second panelist, let me just pull up my screen here. For our second panelist, he joined the Rotary Club of University District Manila in 1984, serves as the president of the Rotary Club of University District Manila in 1990 to 1991, and transferred to the Rotary Club of Alabang in 2003. He is currently the Executive Vice President at the Manila Bulletin Publishing Corporation. He has served as the Rotary International President Representative to various district conferences in Japan, Australia, Taiwan, and the Philippines, of course. In District 3830, he served 6 district governor-elect as district trainer from Rotary year 2004 to 2011, and is currently serving as the district trainer for Rotary year 2020 to 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome past District Governor Herminio Sani Coloma Jr. Good afternoon, Gob.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Ayun. All right, thank you so much, Gob. So, what can you say about our very great speakers that we have today? What can you say about their topics? Mafalda?
Okay. So can you properly listen to me? Okay,
yeah.
Perfect.
Yes.
So I really love the diversity that you are bringing here to this session, because you are bringing 3 completely different approach. You have someone from Rotary regarding experience being a governor. You have someone that also works in Rotary from Australia that works at Rotary as an infrastructure, and then you have a leader from a country in Europe that also have a really different approach of public image than the one that is practiced in Asia. So I really think that it's important to have diversity to show different options to approach problems, and in this case, PR and image and marketing and how to promote. So I think it's really good, the content that all of them brought to the lessons of this session.
All right, thank you so much, Mafalda. How about past District Governor Sani? What can you say about our topic for this afternoon?
I'm excited to join you this afternoon because of the opportunity to be with our Rotaractors. I'm excited that Rotary is now composed of both Rotary clubs and Rotaract clubs. And I think we should also be excited talking about how we can work more closely together so we can increase awareness about Rotary among Rotaractors and among the public out there about Rotaract and Rotary. Because I think if we could achieve synergies by working together, then we can go a long way toward promoting the public image of Rotary and Rotaract and toward attracting more people to join our service programs.
All right. Thank you so much for that insight, Gov Sadi. Now, let's proceed to the question and answer. So, first, I think anyone can answer this question, or maybe let's ask our past district governors because they have much experience when it comes to promoting Rotary. Um, the question would be, what can you say to clubs to help them understand the importance of increasing public awareness of Rotary and Rotaract? PDG Ray, PDG Ray, you're still with us?
You hear me?
Yep, we can hear you now, Gov. Thank you so much.
Your question is what can we say to clubs to help them understand the importance of increasing public awareness?
Yes, Rotary and Rotaract, yes.
Okay. So, in that question, my answer is you need to increase public image, increase increase people awareness, of course, to deepen people understanding of who we are, what we do, and why our work matters. If people understand that who we are, like-minded people will join us. So we have to tell stories. We have to show it to the people what we are doing. Because whatever we do, if the people doesn't know what we are doing, they will not realize our organizations. They will never know us. So we have to tell them. Thank you.
Right, right. Thank you so much, Gov. And there's a question here. It's regarding people of action because not well, for some of you may know, not all Rotaractors are quite familiar in using the people of action resources. So, how can we show clubs the value of using people of action resources? Maybe I'll throw the question to past District Governor Sonny Coloma.
Okay, people of action is a way of describing what Rotarians do to be of service to the community. I'll give you an example. Late last year, there was a series of earthquakes in Davao Oriental and provinces in Mindanao, in southern Philippines. And immediately, our Rotary clubs went into action. And I could see from the photos they submitted to the Philippine Rotary magazine that at every opportunity, they wanted people to be keenly aware that they were Rotarians in action and serving the community. In other words, they did not go there anonymously. In what they did, they made sure that people would know that they are Rotarians. And I think that's very important, that people have a visible manifestation. They have a peg. They could identify who the Rotarians are and what they are doing. And now our organization has adopted the slogan, People of Action, because indeed, service is about action. You don't serve by simply talking. So serving is seeing people manifesting their kindness through action. So it's very important that we tell stories. I think this has been repeated by many of our resource persons, including Angela. We need to have good stories to tell because people remember stories. They don't remember very much slogans. they remember stories better. So you must be able to project and tell good stories so that they can remember Rotary and Rotaract.
All right. Thank you so much, PDG Sun. And we have a question here. I guess I'll be asking it to our one of our speakers, Angela. There's a question of how can inconsistency in our visual identity hurt Rotary or Rotaract?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Sure, sure. How can inconsistency in our visual identity hurt Rotary or Rotaract?
Right. Yeah, I definitely think it is about having a communication plan that is consistent. So whether you are talking on Facebook, your website, you're talking to a journalist, the message has to be succinct. It needs to have a clear vision. So you can't have one person saying one thing and then someone else from an organization saying something else. It needs to match. So it definitely can damage a brand's reputation when there is no consistency. So I guess, you know, some of the examples that I used earlier were the fact that, you know, when you are talking to and you're sharing your story, you really need to make sure you have all those relevant news hooks so you are memorable, people are remembering what you're saying, and there is a consistency.
Right. Thank you so much, Angela. I have a very interesting question here. I guess I'll ask each one from our speakers to our panelists, based on your own experience. There's a question here on how do we handle resistance from clubs without updating Rotary's visual identity or following Rotary guidelines? So I think I'll ask PDG Ray first.
Okay, how to handle resistance? Well, of course,
Yeah.
you have to be cordial in approaching if there is some modification or changes in their brand layout. Especially in our district, sometimes our team had been being what you call, they say we are police, we are policemen. And now our approach to this year is not to act as a policeman. We have to be patient. We have to serve a good example, and you can refer it to all of us, being a good example in approach, because we are all professionals. We cannot say do this, do that. All we have to do is makiusap, or we have just to request from them. Just I hope that next time you can do this. I hope next time, please modify. And I think that is our approach now. And our goal for this year is to have a 100% brand compliance within the 10 districts of the Philippines. And we are here to encourage and also to support all the clubs in the 10 districts of the Philippines, because we have already requested all the district governors, and they agreed that we will approach all the clubs through Zoom meeting, and we will take this opportunity, this pandemic times, to do it. So one thing for sure is we have to be cordial, we have to be patient, and we have to approach very, very professionals to all of you. And I think if that's the case, there will be no much problem in, there will be no much resistance in that following Rotary's guidelines.
All right. How about Mafalda? Do you encounter any clubs resisting about updating Rotary visual identity in your district, perhaps?
In my district, I think was quite okay, and everyone just updated the guidelines and the logos, because our DRR provides us the links from Rotary to create automatically the logos for all of us to promote on our websites, Facebook, and so on. The problem, for example, is more at ERIC, Rotaract Europe, where we are facing here 47 countries and 116 districts. So it's quite hard to check everything. But I think for me, the best option is to spam, always with information, and make them see that something is changing, and they will look for it, and then they will update it because they will see there is a difference. And I think that should be the way, instead of mandatory enforcement and having like the aggressive like spam, and make them see what changed.
Right. That's correct. We don't just force them to do what needs to be done. And how about Salvador? Any insights about clubs resisting on
Yeah,
updating?
yeah, sure. Going also to the root question, I would say help them. Like, legit help them. We are people of action, then do your action. Like, there's no excuses. I know so many districts that are just saying, oh no, clubs are not sending me the information. They're not updating it. Okay, then make a district website, provide the logos updated with the branding center to all of the clubs, and then tell them to share stories with you with those logos. If they don't do it, they are not displayed in the district page, for example. So with these kind of short actions, you actually encourage them to take the step, because otherwise today we cannot allow ourselves to be waiting for someone to decide to change image, which is affecting everyone. So of course it doesn't need to be in a harsh way, but do take action. If they are not doing it, maybe it's because they don't know, or it's because they would need someone to push them to it. So show them at whatever level that you are, either if it's your district, take action and change and upload everything with the current guidelines and the logos or the image. If it's a district level, do provide yourself the different logos so people can adapt it, and maybe create recurrent templates on your social media so people see that they can stick to those resources only if they fit the logo, otherwise they won't be able to use it. And as an MDIO as well, aren't districts providing you with certain information because they don't have an image? Okay, then you won't share them, and they will see how their impact is being reduced just because they don't want to go with the flow. So that would be my advice. Just take action.
Mute. Okay, there you go. Sorry, I am on mute. But thank you so much for that insight, Salvador. I hope our DRREs got a lot from you guys. And there is one question here. This is from our immediate past district Rotaract representative from District 3770, IPDR MJ. A question to past district governor Ray. So IPDR MJ is asking, says here, Rotary or Rotaract is an organization only for the rich and famous, a common perception that has long been associated with Rotary or Rotaract in the Philippines. And the question is what, oh, sorry, my screen is, okay. The question is, how can we correct that perception to people, PDG Ray?
Okay. Before the meaning of Rotary is a group of professional persons doing humanitarian service worldwide. But now, because of the entry from RI, the people of action, we want to, in our public image, we want to project that what is Rotary. When they see Rotary, they say it's people of action. It's not for the rich, it's not for anything else, but it's for young professionals. That is people of action. So that's why we introduce these people of action. Even in Rotaract, you can do this, because someday, or you are our future and you will become Rotarians, and this is your training grounds. You have to inject projects really that will touch the lives of people outside. our target is not Rotarians. Our target is people outside. And we cannot eliminate this being called as for mayayaman or for the rich unless we unless they see our projects, unless we project it with the people of action. That's why our target now is when they see the logo or the master brand of Rotary, what comes to the minds of the public is it is people of action, it is service. And that's our direction on this public image in Rotary.
All right, thank you. So, yeah, well, by the way, I'm also a victim of that perception. Why join Rotary? It's only for the rich. So if you're a member of Rotary, you're automatically a rich person. So I think uh, IPDR MJ would like also to ask past District Governor Sonny on how PDG Sonny, how do you handle these kinds of questions and perceptions about Rotary?
I think the perception is something that comes out of reality. People don't just perceive by imagining. They perceive because they see. So the only way to correct a misperception or a misimpression is to change the image and to present the reality as we would like it to be presented. And that said, I think I would like to invite more discussion on what together we can do to engage each other more actively. What do I mean? It's almost 1 year that Rotary made a very important decision, and that is to make Rotaract a new membership type. And I see this as an important step forward, but what I'd like to see is more interaction and more engagement between Rotaract clubs and Rotary clubs. Because I believe that the synergy is very important for the entire Rotary movement. We are now all in one organization, and that is Rotary International. Let's face it, essentially the Rotarians have the resources because they are accomplished professionals, but the Rotaractors have the youth and the energy, and they have the passion, and they have the commitment. So I think we should work at being more interactively engaged with each other. We should work in such a way that Rotaract clubs work hand in hand with Rotary clubs. And Rotary clubs are able to tap into the well springs of youth and energy. We cannot grow Rotary if we do not bring in young people. And if we look at the profile of most Rotary clubs, they're mostly made up of senior citizens like myself and Governor Ray. And it's important that we present a more youthful image. We cannot be inclusive or diverse if we are perceived as an organization of senior people. So I think that's one important item in the agenda for public image. In our public image initiatives, we should exert more effort in projecting that Rotary is now composed of both Rotary clubs and Rotaract clubs. And I think the closer we are able to work together, it's going to be beneficial for both organizations and for Rotary as a whole.
Wow, thank you so much for that insight, PDG Sonny. So I hope when we are being asked that Rotary and Rotaract are for rich people, I hope our DRRs or maybe our Rotaractors in this session can answer the or correct the perceptions of the people. And we have a question here. So for Miss Angela, it's from oh, there's no name. It says anonymous. Here in the Philippines, Rotaract projects are not being highlighted in the traditional media, like newspaper, TV, or radio. Do you think promoting Rotaract through social media or other online media platforms would be enough PR for us, or do you think we should put more effort in promoting our projects using the bigger form of traditional media?
I would say both. Why limit yourself to just social media? I mean, the demographic is definitely younger, so you will definitely have a better presence on social media, but there's still a lot of news outlets that are online. And as I was talking about earlier, news is moving online. I mean, I just go through Facebook and a Channel 7 news story pops up and I've read it. So I don't think you should discount traditional media either. And whoever that was who asked the question, I'm very happy to have a separate conversation about that as well, because I think, yeah, don't limit yourself to just social media. Spread the word in any way you can. I can't hear you.
Okay, there you go. So again, don't hesitate to use all the resources you need, especially to promote, your district projects, and of course your district club's individual projects. And okay, so we're out of time, but let me just ask this last question. This is a question to Salva and Mafalda. I'll have Salva uh, answer the question first. Do you experience instances where you badly need content from clubs but you aren't getting? How do you encourage Rotary clubs in your district or MDIO to submit contents for district or MDIO managed communication channels? It's a question from an anonymous
Okay,
person.
that is actually a great question, which I actually experienced this during this year. So I can tell you two different approaches, and one would be the approach that, for example, the district I'm in right now took, which was waiting for clubs to take action. What happened? That never happened, and the year passed. The communication didn't flow. The channels didn't get filled, and that was a big problem. However, on Rotaract Mediterranean, for example, on a multi-district level, we were needing stories. And if we need a story and you're not giving this to us, we're gonna look for it. So the problem in promoting is that you guys as leaders should be creating as well the stories, even if a club did it. Does anyone in your team spotted a club doing an action? Take those pictures out, write about that action and publish it, and then notify the club. Once this keeps on rolling, I usually like to use the approach of, oh, you're the only one sharing news. So they actually get to see that you're a good person. So, okay, you're not sharing news, but you took my project and promoted it. That's nice of you. And then eventually they will start creating a PR person who will be in charge of saying that, of sending that. So my main advice on this is do it yourself. If the others are not doing it, check out their social media or check out whatever they promote their projects, and then tell them to assign one person for press, let's say, that would be in charge of sharing that information in contact with your team. So be people of action. Otherwise, what are we doing here?
Right, that's correct. How about Mafalda? The same question goes to you. Yeah, how do you encourage Rotary clubs in your district or MDIO to submit contents for the district or MDIO?
So I was part of the marketing team of Rotaract Europe 2 years ago, and what we did at the time was that we established a few campaigns, and one of that was sharing a social project. And since we had 52 weeks, we had 47 countries, we asked them all for showing us a social project. And since no one wanted to be part of, like, okay, this country had it, so I also want to have it because I don't want to losing this, it was fun, and everyone share with us. And also we ask the country representatives, the people that we have directly contact with to the countries, to provide us the most successful or the one that they were more proud about in order to share with the members and to support and to provide opportunities for replicate this project in other parts.
All right. Thank you so much. So to our DRRs, please encourage your Rotaract clubs to submit reports so that they can be able to promote their projects not just in the district but also to the whole country. But questions are still pouring. I can see a lot of people just throwing their questions here, but I think we are out of time. So, yeah, I hope just continue posting your questions, and maybe our speakers or panelists can answer them later for you in a private message. But I hope you learned a lot today for our topic, and thank you very much, everyone. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this session. And it's a pleasure to be your moderator today. I'm now handing back the virtual stage to our host, RJ.